Hello there, Danger Noodle here, and in today's video I'm going to be playing the game 270. This game is a US political strategy game where you have the map of America with all of its electoral numbers for each state, and you basically have to try to win as one of the party members. In today's video, I'm going to be playing as the Republican Party, and there are a limited number of characters that are playable, and every character has different bonuses or penalties, or often nothing. And so, for the sake of it, I'm just going to be playing as the McCain-Palin. In this game, you have a turn-based system, and so with all 50 states plus DC, you basically look between each of the states, and they all have different groups, and you can purchase different slots into them. If you don't buy into a state before, you have to spend at least one or two. You also are limited by the overall amount of campaign funds that you have, which you can gain more by either investing into different national groups or state groups, which if you have at least up to the black bar in the given states, you will be given the overall rewards. In this case, for oil and gas, it would be plus 75k. In this campaign, I'm going to be looking heavy into the oil states along with the manufacturing base and the export driven. Let's go ahead and start by investing one into Texas and two into Louisiana, because both of them give us an extra export driven, and at the same time they give us a bunch of extra bonuses, which include oil, which we really need, especially if we are going to win this. So when we finish your rounds, you can go ahead and hit end turn, and then it showcases what all of the different characters have done. Alright, so now that the first turn is over, we can then see the electoral gains or losses along with the conflicts of if two or more characters spend the same amount into a state, then they lose those overall funds. Since we went into states that no one is competing for, we didn't lose any money, and every time you lose funds at the same time, you lose however many slots that you were to take. So looking at the overall states, what we want is this overall oil field along with the Rust Belt area, and because Hillary is already going into Michigan, we're going to go ahead and buy one into there and then hold on to our funds so that we can then throw them all in at the same time. So as you can see, Hillary did not spend any more into Michigan, so what we are going to go ahead and do is lock up the entire state. Once you have bought over this black line, then no one else is able to actually buy into it, and it is locked into your character and you are perfectly safe. So while we have that state, let's go ahead and get Louisiana and North Dakota. And just for added bonus, I am also going to be looking at New Mexico. There we go, we have locked up Michigan, and looks like we also need Pennsylvania, so let's go ahead and buy one slot into there, and at the same time we were going to get North Dakota, but Bernie already bought into it, so let's just go ahead and buy 3 of them to get up to the third mark, in the hopes that the AI won't actually compete against it. For the other 2 states, I'm just going to leave them alone for now. And once again, a state that I want. The AI has not purchased any more into it, so we are just going to go ahead and lock up as much of it as we can. At the same time, Bernie bought all of North Dakota, so to ensure the safety of the oil fields, I am going to go ahead and buy up the rest of the remaining states. We're going to buy into Texas so that we can get all 3 of them, so that we can push into the manufacturing base and the export driven, as we are doing quite well. Once I have Texas, I'm going to look at Illinois and Florida. Okay, so looks like the AI are beginning to gain extra groups while we still have limited funds. We have just gained the manufacturing base, so that gives us an additional 82k funds, which we can then throw all of those funds into the same state and still have some left over. Let's lock up Alaska because Hillary has not spent any more into it. We have just gained oil and gas, which gives us an additional 90k, not to mention we are catching up in electors, which are easily defendable. Looks like Oklahoma will be a battleground state, but let's prevent that from happening, and let's buy into Ohio, and the rest of the funds, let's put that into Florida and Wisconsin. Now we have 189 electors against 206 and 92. Now what we need to do is spend at least one into all of these easy targets, and then the next turn we will throw everything that we have into them to gain as much electors as possible while taking them away. Let's throw everything into Idaho and Nevada, and that'll hopefully prevent the states from being lost, and let's throw the remaining amount into Oregon, and that will give us a little bit of extra funds that we can then put into Montana and Colorado. We now have 220 electors, which means we just need 50 more in order to win the presidency, plus holding on to what we currently have, which should not be a problem, especially since we just won several states over. But looks like we have a ballot next turn, which means either if someone gets over 270, then they win the game overall. Otherwise, if no one is over it, then whomever is the lowest number ultimately loses the election. At the same time, we can throw the remaining amounts into these states that no one else is spending money into. And there we go. And that gives us a little bit extra in order to spend into these few remaining states. And there we have it. So now that turn 14 is over, we will then see who is going to be lost. Wow, that is saddening. So it looks like Bernie has been dropped out of the race. That means we now have 250, which means we have to swing a couple of states and then hold on to the remaining. And there we have it, we have 270, which means now we just need to hold on to our current electors, and we will win the game. Let's throw the remaining funds into these extra states. We now have 284, so a much safer win. Let's make sure that we can go even farther. And we just won swing states. Wow, that is so useful now that we've won the game. Has the presidency been decided? 276 with 71 million people coming out to vote. And there you have it. Wow, okay, so I managed to hold on to the Midwest and the Sun Belt, and at the same time ended up not getting the Deep South and the Northeast, but we've still managed to somehow scrape by and actually win. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.